What's up, everybody? Funny enough, I was about to do a video talking about how we've already forgotten about Rich Homie Quan, of all people, and just got the news that James Earl Jones passed. So let's talk about an actual legend, okay? For real, not a forced fake one, okay? Now, vibe with me here.
Until this battle station is fully operational, we are vulnerable. The Rebel Alliance is too well equipped. They're more dangerous than you realize.
Dangerous to your Starfleet, Commander, not to this battle station.
The rebellion will continue to gain us support in the Imperial Senate.
The Imperial Senate will no longer be of any concern to us. I have just received word that the Emperor has dissolved the Council permanently. The last remnants of the old Republic have been swept away.
It's impossible. How will the Emperor maintain control without the bureaucracy?
The regional governors now have direct control over their territories.
The breathing! The breathing! Fucking brilliant.
Fear will keep the local systems in line. Fear of this battle station.
And what of the rebellion? If the rebels have obtained a complete technical readout of this station, it is possible, however unlikely, that they might find a weakness and exploit it.
The plans you refer to will soon be back in our hands.
Any attack made by the rebels against this station would be a useless gesture, no matter what technical data they've obtained. This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes, or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort.
That's great. You ain't like, yo, listen, man, stop it with all that shit. Oh my god, I fucking love this nigga, man.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Enough of this. Vader, release him.
As you wish.
This bickering is pointless.
Brilliant.
Now, Lord Vader will provide us with the location of the rebel fortress by the time this station is operational. We will then crush the rebellion with one swift stroke.
And then so you get to the power of the Force, and the guy's like, well, yo, like, what the hell are you talking about? Shit. Classic. Okay. James Earl Jones, known for doing the voice of Darth Vader, one of the greatest villains in movie history. Okay? Easily. Like, top 5? Especially in the sci-fi fantasy world of movies. Top 5? You know? And so James Earl Jones is definitely a legend. He's done a lot of stuff. I haven't seen a lot of it, you know, because he's done screen and stage. He's definitely, you know, one of the older actors. But, I mean, I grew up hearing about James Earl Jones, right? Like, I mean, this, again, I want to stress this. I mean, definitely way before my time in a sense. But he's a legend, you know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up, especially as a Nigerian Canadian, right? Like, you know, we were into, obviously, Hollywood movies and cinema, black cinema, all that kind of stuff. And we loved black entertainers, American black entertainers, because they were doing it, you know, and they were really sort of putting on for the rest of the black world. And I think that people in James Earl Jones' time kind of understood that. There was some responsibility of like, look, I'm not going to be necessarily out here acting a fool. I am representing and moving for the entire black race in a sense. And I know that I'm not necessarily saying that you must be trapped in that box, because it can be a trap of sorts, right? You know, but the point I think is to understand that if you are in a position of power and you have a position of visibility, I think it is best to at least be cognizant of how you put on and represent your people, given the world that we live in, a white supremacist world. We are going to be judged as a unit, and that's unfortunate. So that does mean that to a certain extent that we should at least be aware of it. It doesn't mean that we have to that means we must necessarily play and be goody two shoes. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I think there has to be a pride. We can't allow ourselves to just be coons and nigs. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm getting at. And do things that like inspire people. And look, Vader, one of the greatest villains ever. Without James Earl Jones' voice, Vader is not what you think he is. Without a fact, like this is for real. And again, I think it's interesting that Black Man was sort of the cornerstone of a great movie villain, right? In sci-fi fantasy. This is why I've always wanted, and I obviously write the sci-fi genre, but stuff like this inspired me. When you find out, you're like, yo, we've been in here, but we don't get our stories told, and I think that's got to change. Obviously, Bloodworld, that's gonna change. Okay, I don't know if it'll necessarily change in my lifetime, unfortunately, because of how deep these things have gone, and how long the bullshit has gone on for. But the point is to at least make a little inroad so that the next generation can pick up from where we left off and get some visibility, man. We have a lot of stuff, a lot of great stories to tell. So anyways, definitely inspired by Vader. I thought this was brilliant. And shout out to everybody that worked on Star Wars. The New Hope is actually my favorite of the three, to be honest with you. Although this was the three were good, but this was my favorite one. And then lastly, I would say this is classic. But to me, this shit, when he comes out, of course, classic movie. We're in a deadline. That's gangster. Oh my god, that's gangster. R.I.P. to James Earl Jones, man. This movie, again, we grew up on this. Absolutely classic, phenomenal film. Rest in peace.